All right, let's take a look at Time Walk. Down, we've got our middle table, which is Michael Ephraim Santana. And yes, we did ask if it was pronounced that way, and it is. And Eli Cassis on the other side of the battlefield, rocking those bold Azorius sleeves. Eduardo, what's your guild? Who are you?
I tend to go between Simic and Izzet, depending on which one experiments better.
Yeah, those are both the experimental guilds. I like it.
Yes.
Well, Eli Cassis is on Izzet Phoenix, and then take a look at this from Michael. Infect.
Yeah, so...
That is a deck that you do not see that often in Modern these days. What happened to Infect? It used to be everywhere.
There's a lot more gut shots and lightning bolts flying around.
Is that it?
That's one of the problems. It's just that...
I mean, lightning bolt's always been a thing, you know?
Infect has lost Jitaxian Probe, which was a very good tool to
that
just...
was huge, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. Getting the information on whether or not your opponent has a removal spell is big game. But yeah, that card is no longer present. A bit too much chagrin, but not surprise. That was an egregiously powerful Magic card.
Oh, yeah.
But by the way, here you see why not every deck runs Mana Morphor's Marshal. Eli has, would like to have extra mana on Michael's turn, but you have to use it now. So you get the Serum Visions, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awkward.
It's fine. You still have to. I mean, Eli still has to go for the deck, right? You still have to get towards those Phoenixes, those things in the ice, and those Crackling Drakes. Oh wait, looking at Eli's deck, he has a really sweet version of the deck too, which hopefully we'll get to see. We'll get to see him ascend a little later.
And there it is, Blighted Agent for Michael. On the other side, Eli Cassis. Well, he's going to want to find an answer for that if he can.
Which one of the gut shots in his hand is he going to use?
Does he have multiples?
I think he has free.
They never play around the third, do they?
It is free, right? My eyes didn't deceive me. I hope. So interestingly, lets Michael kind of untap and attack.
Yeah, and he even takes a hit here. Perhaps wanting to engineer a situation where he could get even more out of it. And there's another Blighted Agent. This gets a little interesting. Here's Gut Shot, and Eli says, well, I'm going to go ahead and pay for it. Michael is like...
You paid life, right?
Like, dude, nope. I casted it.
Yeah, there's free Gut Shots in Eli's hand.
That is kind of the name of the game here. And now it's going to force Michael to crack a fetch. Eli actually could go for it now.
It's probably better to wait. And I mean, the Gut Shot on the stack is already doing the job.
Yeah. Does open up the door for edge cases.
Yeah.
He could cast a pump spell here. Another Gut Shot happens. Then he has Mutagenic Growth.
You don't... Also... Eli doesn't have to Gut Shot right away. Remember, this is all at the end of Michael's turn.
Sure.
So
he
Eli
can just say, sure.
Yeah, and then, for example, you could draw into Faithless Looting. And then if you draw into Faithless Looting, you could draw into Arclight Phoenix.
And then you'll be happy you did it on your turn?
Yes.
I like how you think, Eduardo.
Yeah, I like casting spells. Yeah, I mean, with Arclight Phoenix, casting spells on your own turn is pretty important. It is a good question, like, on when to fire these Gut Shots. It's not very obvious. I think here, though, with Eli's hand, this is going to be a very easy Gut Shot on Blighted Agent and Crackling Drake. Probably just draw the card first with Crackling Drake, but yeah. You need to get rid of that Blighted Agent. Although now Michael's down to just one card.
We have posted your pairings.
As long as Eli is trading like this, just efficiency, and then Crackling Drake can even trade with the Inkmoth Nexus. If it ever attacks, since he'll have at least 5 power, maybe 6 with the Gut Shot. But yeah, decides the Gut Shot first. Then Drake.
Nice. Good stuff here from Eli Cassis, and he's put himself in a good position now.
Yeah.
With a nice big threat and a completely empty board for Michael.
It's also a really good blocker, so it's really hard for Michael to attack this turn.
Michael does have an Inkmoth Nexus, though.
And a really cool card in hand in Twisted Image, I believe. Or, oh, is that Distortion Strike? That's really nice here. Allowing Michael to essentially attack for 2 poison here. And hope to draw a pump spell next turn.
Sure.
That is a lot of lands in Eli's hand. There's free lands along with an Arclight Phoenix. So here Eli is just going to go for the aggressive play since you can't really play around Distortion Strike. So might as well swing in for a nice cool 9.
Is that good?
I mean, depends. We'll see. Depends on what Michael gets. Become Immense would lock it up in Michael's favor.
Oh, God. Is he going to do it?
Well, you need to have the card.
He's drawn one. Reach for that graveyard? No.
Yeah, I mean, 1 blocker for the Drake might be enough. That's a Glistener Elf, and that's lethal damage in the air.
Yeah, that's going to come back, and
that's it.
Dunzo. All right, so that is game number 1 going to Eli Cassis. But Michael gets to be on the play and doesn't have anything just yet.
By the way, my favorite sleight of hand. I love 7th edition foil cards. They have a very distinct look to them.
They do. The whole, like everything but the artwork, right? The frame is foiled out.
Yeah, the 7th has a very distinctive art, which most people are not the biggest fan of, I'll say, but it was the set I started with, so it has a special place in my heart as a result.
Do you mean this card specifically or in general?
In general, foil 7th edition cards like have a very distinctive
They
look
do.
to them. Yeah.
They're cool. What do you mean? Those are really cool.
They are.
You know, there's a Birds of Paradise.
Oh, well, that one
right?
is...
The one that's
Yes.
different artwork than the original. It's like flying in. It's like a bird with
well,
rainbow
it's
wings.
the art from that set, but the foiling on it is... Yeah.
That is a gorgeous card.
I mean, both players are showcasing their nicest foils, right? Like, Michael's side, like, look at the...
He's all expeditioned out over there.
Yeah.
Eli brought the old school beta basics. I gotta love that.
Yeah. I mean, so to be clear, you know, because sometimes people get a bit hung up on, like, the versions of cards.
Yeah.
Whatever you can play with, as far as I'm concerned, is the best thing. Like, whatever you have access to, that's the card you should play with. That's great.
I mean, they're basic lands. You have access to many of them.
Right, but, you know.
They don't cost anything.
Well, sure.
It's just a aesthetic preference at that point. I mean, within reason, we can't all, you know, play with exactly the ones that we want. But you still, you know, there's a wide range of choices.
Sure. But it is more difficult to, you know, play with what you have and have fun. Modern's a great format. As long as you can dip in, play, and with what you like, that's perfect as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Faithless Looting now for Eli Cassis. He did have to play that Steam Vince Untapped to do it, though.
Oh, this is really nice.
Business.
2 gut shots in hand as well. So with those 2 spells, he just gets
fires one off, right?
Yeah, gets the gut shot of the Glistener Elf and has a second one as backup.
Oh, no, this is going horribly for Santana's side of the board.
I'm not that sure. He actually, Mutagenic Growth actually means that there might be another effect.
But this is all on Eli's turn.
Yes.
So this is not when you want to be firing these pump spells off just to save your 1/1.
I do wonder about firing off the one that costs mana first, but Eli was always going to respond to Mutagenic Growth.
Right, in this case it didn't matter,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a sweet version of the deck, though, for Santana's side. Look at all those foils. Cool, like the alternate art Glistener Elf, even.
Yeah. But yeah, gut shot that is a lot of gut shots, and they're very, 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 very good against the infect.
Yeah, what have
deck.
we seen? 5 cast in 2 games so far?
So many gut shots.
Oh my goodness.
Also, Michael isn't playing around Blood Moon, which I totally understand. I mean, it's a card they would board in, but they don't always play it, and if they do, it's 1 or 2 copies.
That's Breeding Pool now to save the Glistener Elf, but the damage is done as far as the Arclight Phoenix goes, and Eli's just going to sit on it. He just says, yeah, go.
Yeah, it blocking is really painful.
Or taking up a Dismember here.
Does Michael have lethal? Yeah, I think there was a Become Immense, so Wow, that
Oh, look at
Wow.
this from Michael with the 1, 2, 3 punch to
4,
kill
5.
Eli
There were
Cassis.
4 pump spells into dismember. Every card was needed, and every card did its job.
Man. Wow, what a sequence there. I wonder which one he drew.
Yeah,
He needed all of it. Wow, that was
even
sweet.
with keeping back the Phoenix, just to make sure. Nope.
Man.
Fights 2 gut
They tried to
shots
play
and a
that-
Phoenix.
Yeah.
To lethal on turn 3.
And then it was just kill your thing, pump, you're dead. Wow, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Exactly how he drew it. But, yeah.
All right, there's Glistener Elf now to kick things off for Santana. No gut shot?
We can wait. No need to do it right away.
You're right.
Assuming
You're right.
So that's a Faithless Looting and 2 Arclight Phoenixes. So the high chance that we're going to see that. But it looks like Elite doesn't have a land. But yeah, you definitely want to set up Faithless Looting first since you know what you're at least getting rid of. At least there's a
gut shot and a Manamorphose.
Wait, there's 2 gut shots.
And 2 Phoenixes going in the graveyard? Really?
Yep, I think so. I've seen at least 2 gut shots. Here's the first one. This or the 6th one, really.
Yeah, exactly.
We need a gut shot counter.
No kidding.
Gut shot 6.
The gut counter's at 6.
So many Phyrexian mana spells. Like, look at Mutagenic Growth.
Yep.
And Michael's like,
It's almost like being able to trade one valuable resource for another's a little broken.
almost a little broken.
It's almost a little bit like that. There we go, Mutagenic Growth.
Narrow Shards is so sad it exists.
And look, this is just so nasty. The gut counter's at 7 now.
That was 4 new Phyrexian cards trading for each other.
Yes, it was. And there is 2 Arclight Phoenixes ready to make short work of Santana's life total.
What is going on?
What a game.
Dear Lord.
Such a beating.
This is like 7 gut shots.
This is modern? Like,
well, yes.
on turn 2, they just
See,
played
you don't
5 spells?
You don't get this many free spells in Legacy.
Yeah. No kidding.
You actually have to pay mana for your rituals.
Oh, my goodness. A little down payment.
You at least have to play black for Dark Ritual. But yeah, here Michael is in a lot of trouble. Not just like the turn 1 threat being dealt with, but also 6 points of recurring burning damage in the air. As long as Eli has access to a lightning bolt, that's going to be it.
Well, if he didn't have access to one already, he's got plenty of ways to search for him. He just found himself Faithless Looting.
Yeah. The likely
first order of business.
Yeah, the likely card we're going to see here, since it the thing with something like Sleight of Hand is you'd have to pick the land first anyways. So you might as well Faithless Looting. I mean, no matter kind of what happens, as long as Eli doesn't die to this Blighted Agent next turn, it's going to be trivial to take over the game. But yeah, Eli really trying to dodge lethal damage here.
Well, he did finally find a land. It's a Mystery Rainforest. He's going to crack that fetch. But it looks very much like Eli Cassis is firmly in the lead, though.
I mean, I don't know what Michael...
infect, yeah.
We need Become Immense and something.
Yes.
And I think I've seen Become Immense.
Might of Volcrosa and Become Immense was the finishing blow.
It's good enough here,
last
too.
Game. It is. Assuming that, well, yeah.
Assuming there's not a third gut shot.
Well, what about the Phoenixes? Oh, all right.
They can't really block Blighted Agent. They're just going to get in.
Yeah.
Well.
And the Phoenixes are a 2-turn clock unless he can find a burn spell here, which he can't. So down to 2.
Is 2-turn clock too slow?
We're going to find out right now, because last time, yes, but he needed Might of Volcrosa. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess there needs to be a fetch in there somewhere.
No, Might of Volcrosa and Become Immense works. You have to, it puts
that would put his 5th card in. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You got it right. It was.
I don't see a main phase Might of Volcrosa here, though.
Yeah.
Now, there are other ways to do it.
1.
But he doesn't have them. All right, so, well, Santana's still playing, though, so...
There's an Ingmov Nexus to block, but I'm not sure what's getting rid of the second Arclight Phoenix.
Right. The time for Dismember has long passed.
Yeah, and there's an Ancient Grudge in the graveyard that was discarded to Faithless Looting earlier, so really, this was Michael's turn to draw the right, to draw a pump spell along if there was a Become Immense in hand and combine both, but without it, Michael can't really take this one down. Eli's draw was just, wow.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, just getting rid of the Mutagenic Growth too. You have a second gut shot. It's like, well, just in case.
Yeah, he's going to get a breeding pool so he has access to that Ancient Grudge out of the graveyard attack, and there's really nothing to be done here.
Yeah, animate.
Make this, kill that before blocks, and even then he has lethal twice.
You can Blossom in defense.
Right, that's cute, but that's game.
You can block. And then you can die.
And that's going to do it. Eli Cassis wins. He is 6-0, dispatching of 5-0 infect.
7 gut shots.
7 gut shots. The gut counter got to 7 that game.
That was a lot.
When you're the infect player and it started on game 1 with 3 of them, you're like, okay, this isn't going to go well for me. And in fact, it did not go well for the infect player. It is a hostile environment for infect, and you mentioned it as well. Gitaxian Probe going away was a big hit to that archetype, and part of the reason why you don't see it that much. Although I'll tell you what, if I'm Santana and I have that collection with that many foil cards, I'm probably running it too.
The deck looked really cool.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
Also, we saw the flurry of Phyrexian mana spells.
Yeah. All right, well, it sounds like we got a little more time walk for you because we're still kind of cruising our way through the round here. So let's take a look at what we've got lined up. That's Alan Wu on the left-hand side, Kevin Wang on the right, and we got game 3 lined up for you here. This is a much different matchup, to say the least, than what we just saw. We've got black-green mid-range on the right-hand side of your screen. That's a deck that will remind you of Jund or Abzan. It's just a little more condensed down to the black and green colors only. On the other side of the table, though, Martyr Proc? What?
It's a bit different.
Haven't seen that in forever. That was a deck that was popular in Extended, right? That was where it kind of did
it was popular in Standard.
Standard? Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah, those cards were Standard legal.
I didn't realize that.
There was a deck called Martyr Tron.
Martyr Tron?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you play mono white with Tron, and then you could forecast your Martyr Sands and have the mana for it for Tron lands.
Okay. I believe you.
It ended up with Nassif having a lot of draws in a tournament.
Now, we're kind of going off about Martyr Proc, but it occurs to me that there's probably a pretty big part of our viewing audience who don't know what this deck does or even maybe what those cards are. What does this deck do?
Yeah, so...
It's a weird one.
The key card is
mono white starter for starters.
It's a mono white deck. Mm-hmm. It's essentially a deck that attempts to lock out the game, but not in a... It's almost like a semi-prison style deck where the card advantage is very strange. It tries to lock out the game by going Martyr of Sands, which is a 1/1 for 1, and then you can sacrifice it. I think in exchange for, I believe 1 mana. It might be 2, but I believe 1 mana. Then you reveal any number of white cards from your hand, and you gain free life for white card revealed. So that's why the deck is mono white.
3 times the number of white cards that you reveal from your hand. That is huge.
Right. So often in the early game, it's gain 9 or 12, and then you combine that with a card like Serra Ascendant, and Serra Ascendant is a 1/1 for 1, not very spectacular. But if you have 30 life or more, it becomes a 6/6 flying lifelinker. Mm-hmm. And that's a little more beefy.
Right. But you said that this was a prison deck that looks to lock people out, but all you've said is there's some small creatures that sometimes get bigger. What else is it doing?
It tries to lock out the game. For example, you can get infinite value from a Squadron Hawk shuffling in your deck with Mistveiled Plains. Mistveiled Plain is a one-of in the deck, and essentially because you can put at the bottom of your deck any card, you don't deck.
Right.
As if they don't have an answer to it. And then you have something called Emeria the Sky Rune as a land. Once you have enough planes in play, that can start getting creatures back. And that's what happens is you just keep...
That's the big engine.
Yeah, you keep putting things back and back and back. And yeah. But yeah, the proc part comes from Proclamation of Rebirth, which is just 1 card in the deck really here. But what it does is you can forecast it. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you can pay 5 and a white, revealing it, and returning a creature with converted mana cost 1 or less So usually you reveal Martyr of Sands.
From your graveyard to
yeah,
play.
your graveyard to play.
Yeah, and that's your Martyr loop.
Right, and then you just gain like 15, 18, 21 life per turn.
Right, and there's so few decks that can pile on that much damage turn after turn after turn, and then you get to still use the rest of your resources to grind even further. So that's Scavenging News, which is going to get Path to Exiled. See you later, Scoos.
But yeah, Alan is a big fan of these mono-white kind of tax decks. Played Deafen Taxes at the Pro Tour 25th anniversry to take that one down.
Well, yes, he crushed with that at the PT. It was really impressive watching him play.
Oh yeah. I managed to play against him in the Swiss, and yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Did you beat him?
Yeah. Sulfur Elemental is a nice card.
Oh yeah, that is the card he does not want to see at any point. What deck were you playing?
I was playing a version of Rug Delver, which was not good for that tournament, except we had Bowmat Courier instead of Nimble Mongoose. So the deck was amazing.
That is really disrespectful from the Nimble Mongoose, you know?
Yeah, but Bowmat Courier was +2/+2, so my Tarmogoyfs.
But Shroud! Oh yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, just a pump spell.
By the way, there's Hissing Quagmire getting activated from Kevin, but that's just going to prompt Field of Ruin from Alan.
Yeah, both players
Look,
have
you don't
access.
have Wasteland, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, but both players, the reason you play green-black midrange is to have kind of mana disruption in Field of Ruin.
Look at this.
And yeah,
Abrupt
Alan,
Decay, you're 1/2.
Let's go.
That's the world we live in. Oh, but here's a power hitter. There's Elspeth Knight Errant card that quite powerful, but doesn't really see much play in Modern. But boy, that card really does work, unless your opponent has Assassin's Trophy. But the real issue here, though, is that Alan can actually use these extra lands down the line. Like, these are adding up, and you think, well, it doesn't matter. He's mono-white, right? He's already got 6 lands. What does land number 7 matter? Well, they do. They actually really do, especially with Emeria.
Emeria the Sky Ruin. So it's a legendary. I think it's a. It may not be a legendary land. It comes from the Valakut cycle. It sounds legendary, but it's not.
Exactly.
Emeria the Sky Ruin is a land that comes into play tapped. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 7 or more planes, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Yeah, it taps for white, of course. But that just happens.
Yeah.
Like, if you get to that point and then you start getting Martyr
Look at this
Sands
Univald.
or whatever.
Look at
Univald is doing work.
And it's hitting Kevin. Is it hitting Kevin or Liliana? I think Kevin at 6. Yeah, let's go.
All at Lily, probably, right?
No, Kevin's at 6. We want to deal damage.
Nice. Yeah, because if he minuses, it's just a 1/1 that goes away anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Love it.
And Alan had access to Celestial Purge, I believe, in hand, but decides, I don't really need to do it.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't even bother.
Assassin's Trophy at least can hit lands.
Oh, but look at this. Fatal Push to kill the Mutavault. One of the reasons why we see creature lands having less of an impact in Modern. And now he's going to go ahead and use the Celestial Purge. And now it is a 1/1, or excuse me, a 1/2 against the world. And Kevin needs a blocker. And oh, he found a Tarmogoyf.
That's a big one.
That's a nice blocker.
Has Assassin's Trophy just in case.
Let's see if Alan can find a way to get it out of the way. Big top deck for him. Nothing, go.
Decides not to run the planes because Alan can always Ghost Quarter the Flagstones of Trocaire to get to the 7 if he top decks an Emeria. Might as well keep the card in hand to keep Kevin guessing.
I mean, not that Kevin really has anything to play around here. He's at 1 life. He just has to sit there.
Yeah, he's counting 6.
Yep.
But there's no Emeria the Sky Ruin. We do talk about it, but it's not there. And there's a Field of Ruin and a...
Ooh, and look at this, though.
Liliana the Last Hope.
Yeah, very nice draw here for Kevin. It lets him start hitting on multiple angles. And I think he should start attacking with this Goyf.
I think let's see. You could start by attacking or by playing the Liliana Last Hope, but since the ability is pretty much going to happen, you can just swing in with you can swing in first.
Yeah, there's really nothing that Alan Wu can do from stopping this sequence. So
2 toughness though.
Yeah, it does survive. There's a Martyr of Sands, a lethal Martyr of Sands, but it will not get the job done here as Liliana the Last Hope is going to stand there and say, well, I'll kill that thing. Now, Alan Wu doesn't mind forcing him to do so. Ooh, don't do that one.
No, that's
don't do that one.
that's not cancel that one.
Good no activation there. That was Flagstones of Trocaire. That's just doing Alan a favor.
Surprised Alan decided to run out the Martyr of Sands here, actually.
Too. I mean, he just doesn't mind it in his graveyard, but I agree. Ooh, look at this. An attack from Kevin Wang. So he's got another blocker. Oh, and it's Scavenging News. What a big draw there for Kevin.
Yeah, stops a lot of the reanimation. Well,
Right. Well, all of it right now. If he draws the area of the Sky Ruin, then things get a lot worse.
What Sky Ruin?
Cancel that order. The Nanbo is in effect.
The Nanbo. Rest in Peace is pretty good against these decks, though. You get to hit Tarmogoyf, and Scavenging Ooze isn't quite as good.
Kevin Wang activates his Scavenging Ooze twice on the way out, though, to go up to a much more comfortable 3. I mean, it seriously is, right? Now he can actually take a hit from the creature on the battlefield and not immediately die.
The Liliana is helping a lot, though, here, too. This Ooze is, the thing is, Tarmogoyf is now a lowly 0-1.
Right.
It's about as good as this Fraben Inspector.
And it will stay that way. But the thing is that Kevin is actually getting quite close to ultimating Liliana the Last Hope. And that is a level of damage production that Alan Wu will not be able to keep up with.
Yeah.
Go to 7.
Yep. Might as well. What's that? That looks like
it better be a Celestial Purge.
No,
Ooh,
wow!
Ranger of Eos off the top of the library for Alan Wu. That has to be one of his best draws. Now what?
It's a good question. The problem is the game has descended to a point where you might just get 2 Fraben Inspectors.
That's what he did.
It's what he's considering.
He's got the 2 Fraben Inspectors pulled to the front.
I mean, Alan can fight through Liliana the Last Hope's emblem. It's not easy, but
How?
I mean, you can get there.
Just like race it?
Well, I mean, Alan has access to a Cataclysmic Gearhulk.
Okay, that doesn't interact with emblems.
No, but you can get a flyer and then hopefully get there. Kevin's only at free.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's like...
So race it, yeah.
You're saying there's a way. That's
yeah. We're in, so you're telling me there's a chance mode. All right, I get it.
There's a chance. So you're saying...
2 clues, 2 Thraben Inspectors.
Yeah, just pass.
Did he already crack a clue?
Yeah,
no
need to expose a fresh card to any top deck discard.
I would take those dice off of Liliana the Last Hope and just throw them across the room.
Well, the first question is, do you Assassin's Trophy the Rest in Peace or not? With all these creatures on the board, I'd say no.
Yeah,
and the reason to do
that
that is...
It also shuts off a key thing for Alan, that recursion ability.
Yes, that's very true. And but you do have access to Field of Ruin, but Alan has access to Ghost Quarter and Field of Ruin.
Boom! Kevin Wayne goes for the ultimate. He's got the emblem. Another 0-1 Tarmogoyf hits the battlefield, but here come the Zombos. Ooh, he's even got the sweet ones.
Yeah,
those are nice. Those were like F&M or something like that, but they're foil zombie tokens.
Field of Ruin on... Yeah, you Field of Ruin here on upkeep in order to get rid of a land in your deck.
Just to improve those thin chances of you finding some way to get through this.
Alan Wu is a statistician. He understands.
But by trade, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He's literally a statistician.
Yes.
He's doing this because he wants the percentage to be just that slight edge better. Oh, Day of Judgment.
That doesn't do anything.
You wait a turn, right?
Yeah.
You can rest in peace. Why not?
Sure.
But yeah, you wait a turn here since you have so many blockers for what Kevin has. And Inquisition of Kozilek doesn't deal with Wrath of God.
No,
but the Thoughtseize does.
Yep.
But does Kevin Thoughtseize at free life? Actually,
what's the point?
You would with Inquisition because you know what's up.
Right, but yeah, so you do that first, and then you would. But even then, why does the Day of Judgment matter here?
Well, next turn Kevin would have a lot of zombies, so that would give Alan an extra turn.
But then it's just more zombies coming, right? It's just.
Yeah, but you still get a turn. You could like
get a flyer.
Imagine if Alan gets Day of Judgment and then top deck Squadron Hawk.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
I'm surprised actually the fire.
Oh, whoa!
And Kevin didn't fire off. I believe he had a Thoughtseize at free life. He could have fired it off.
He did not, and he just top decked a Squadron Hawk.
So now Alan can just cast all these Squadron Hawks with access to 8 mana.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
You called it. So, for example, a Squadron Hawk, is that what you were saying?
Something like that. Yeah, and I mean, the zombies are good, but they don't fly, and Kevin's at free.
Oh my goodness. Is that game?
I thought he had a Thoughtseize. I'm pretty sure I saw...
I didn't see, but...
It's one of those Masterpiece cards. And
you're right. The one that...
Hour of Devastation.
Looks like it has a bat on it or whatever.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. And that's game. Alan Wu, the statistician, with the Savage top deck, and Kevin Wang has to only look at his graveyard and say, why didn't I cast a Thoughtseize?
That was,
holy smokes.
I mean, it might have still ended in Alan's favor anyways, because Kevin would have gone to 1.
Uh-huh.
So
Welcome
I didn't
back,
do the
by the way.
I didn't do the math there, but it's possible Kevin would have gone to 1, and then 4 Squadron Hawks would have been enough between blocking and saving Kevin there.
That was the one, right?
So yeah, it was close. It
That
might
one?
be close. Yeah, Thoughtseize, yeah.
That's Thoughtseize. We just double checked the. You
I'm
know,
not
the
100%,
invocations
yeah.
are always a little like, that's the one I think it is, right? But you
Yeah.
can never really tell. That is what it was.
Yeah, that was.
So, boy, sometimes it's correct to go down to 1 life, and sometimes it's not. And that time it looked like it was.
I mean, I think taking the Day of Judgment there was probably the right angle for sure.
Yeah. But even then, Alan needed to really get lucky to find some way to push through the damage, because otherwise he goes Wrath, so I don't die, pass, and then even if he doesn't play anything, you know, Kevin just to go, here's some zombies, go, and then any
Yeah.
ground creatures don't matter.
If you're worried about Walking Ballista, it's still working from free life. So
Wow,
that was a
insane.
sweet top deck though.
Yes, that was really nice. If only somebody would have thought of it ahead of time.
We're going down that road.
Yeah, no, that was really good. So we're pretty good way through the day now. We're starting to close in on the end of day 1. Anything standing out to you overall? Is there a deck that you've seen quite a bit in the feature match area that surprised you? Is there anything new that's popped up?
That surprised me.
I
for
mean,
sure.
Martyr Proc, like what?
There was also Boros Control in round 2.
Yes. Okay, but that was round 2. Like,
Sure.
if Boros Control is 5-0 or 6-0, now we're talking business, but, I have no
Martyr
idea.
Proc was kind of cool to see on camera. I don't know if there's a deck that really surprised me, but there were a lot of like little sweet decks. Grixis Control from Corey. It's always nice to see. Hardened Skills, but I think we're going to see that Izzet Phoenix deck more as tomorrow progresses
I'm
too.
getting that vibe, too. Lots of that out in the field, and it seems to be doing well. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we've got Maria and Reed to bring you the next round of action. Don't you go anywhere.